This podcast is a production of Unfiltered Studios. If you would like to know more about joining Unfiltered Studios, please visit our website at unfpod.com for more information.
Hey, yo, I'm your host Sully, and I got the kings of pop culture, JJ and Tom, back in the studio.
Hello. I'm here for the old Gringo audition.
Oh, well,
It's so nice to be here.
Yeah, I'm so happy you could be here.
Hollywood Squares.
So, if that doesn't warm me up, nothing will, so fuck off, folks. Anyway, we are talking about just hot takes. We are talking about, we always bring in some B-movie, Elvira, Joe Bob, all these other kind of horror sci-fi hosts, cheesy movie guys, and we just figured, we talk so much about Mystery Science Theater, we kind of talked about episodes we can't rewatch again, as well as our favorites, but how about just ones where just like the movie itself is harmless, it's just it was the first thing available at the antenna channels,
Yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes you get the movies and you're watching, you're like, oh, this isn't that bad as I thought it was going to be,
No, or not as bad as I remember it, where you're kind of... And
find out the backstory of the movie, you're just like, oh, I didn't know that,
Yeah, that's my only issue with RiffTrax. I love what they do, but I do get annoyed with how sometimes they act like the movie is instantly bad, and then they'll do a disclaimer, hey, nothing personal, you like what you like. I'm like, well, still, you kind of are gatekeeping a bit.
I mean, you poison it well enough and somebody's gonna die.
There's RiffTrax did Zindi the Jungle, the
Swamp Boy.
Yeah, which is just fucking awful. And then they did a movie by Dave G. Ancona, who did Time Chasers, which is basically Die Hard on a ski slope, which was great.
Yeah, I have fun with those. Yeah.
I gotta say, I've seen some of the movies that Mystery Science Theater did, either unriffed or uncut, and some of them were like really good. Like we're gonna go through them, but it's like I had to go through my head today. I was like, oh, gee, it wasn't that bad,
Oh, totally. If The Million Eyes of Sumaru came on Svengoolie, I'd watch it. I wouldn't have a problem with it.
Yeah, they did. The Million Eyes of Sumaru I did watch, unedited, and
right?
I actually saw this. I think I might be partially be seeing the sequel, The Girl from Rio, because there was a sequel.
Oh wow!
And The Million Eyes of Sumaru, it's a good flick. Same author from Fu Manchu.
Mm-hmm.
Who was it? The guy who wrote Fu Manchu.
Fu Manchu author. There's a rock band. Oh my god, Sax Rohmer. No.
Sax Rohmer. Yeah, he.
Okay.
The same guy. And it's a good movie to watch. I mean, there's a lot of things you're just kind of like shaking your head, going, "What the fuck just happened?" But
right. And don't get me wrong, guys. We'll mention plenty of camp on here. If you want to watch The Crawling Hand or even freaking The Green Slime or Monos, you really won't lose much, because most people who come into it just seem to I call them the Christopher Nolan heads, where they just think, oh, if it's not 1080, 4K. And I'm like, fuck you. I don't always care for 4K, especially because I see more bloopers than I actually would have never seen on VHS cassette tape days. I don't need to see so and so's nose hairs. I don't need to have Hans Zimmer echoing his music and blowing out my eardrums to make it be good.
Yeah. And the thing I always said about some of those movies was we saw some of these movies even before they were riffed. And I have a couple,
Really? Yeah.
that I can remember watching going, wow, this is good. This is not that
Mhm.
bad.
It's silly. It's fun. It's a decent slugfest. I mean, I think I'm gonna do a lot of deep dives with KTMA kind of stuff because don't get me wrong, there are plenty of movies we've mentioned before. Where it's like, yeah, no, damage is done. No matter whether you're watching it cut or uncut, like no one's gonna make us rewatch Hobgoblins again, even for the riffs.
No.
It's too much
But
deep hurting.
that's one of those movies that's like, you watch it, you're like thinking to yourself, okay, well, we've made fun of it, but let's watch it again. And you're thinking to yourself, well, but this guy put his, like, it's like they just did a movie called Demon Squad, right?
Yeah, yeah. Very
Yeah.
nice
And
guys. Everyone should meet them. They're the nicest Alabama filmmakers. Just very patient. Just want to make something simple. Never, no ego.
And the way they did it was very low budget, very low key. It exposed a lot of people to, what they did. Aaron Lilly and Thomas Lilly, I'm friends with them off on Facebook.
It's so
And
nice, right? They've done it all: radio and college work, everything.
And they're gonna do Demon Squad 2. They got that green lit.
Can't wait.
Awesome.
Yeah. So the thing with Demon Squad, which I liked about it, was it kind of reminded me of was it Supernatural,
Yeah.
the way it was, okay.
Mhm.
And before it became like an ongoing, like, the storyline kept going through. I liked Supernatural was Monster of the Week or the X-Files. It had that charm about it.
A millennium, or like you say, Outer Limits
Yeah.
kind of thing, where
Yeah.
every once in a while it'll be standalone, and then it'll creep right back at you. By the way, you remember that one guy from that once re-shown episode? He's back. A totally
Yeah.
separate storyline.
The
Plan.
thing they did was it wasn't cheesy special effects. It was practical.
No. Yeah.
Practical. I mean, the demon thing at the end, I was trying to put it together. I was like, what does this look like to me? And I remember when I was a kid, I had a Legion of Superheroes comic, and there was
Sweet.
and there was a creature in it from the Fatal Five called Valdus, who was a,
man.
Mm.
if you ever look him up, he's like this, like, just creature that, like,
I remember the Persuader. I just forgot about some of the other guys there.
Valdus is, if you ever see a picture of Valdus and you see the picture of the demon at the end of Demon Squad, it's like I think they might have just said, they were like looking, okay, all right, let's make it this, and if somebody picks it up, they'll know what we're doing here. But
he did say he played a lot of RPGs growing up. Like,
Yeah.
if he wasn't playing D&D, he was doing escape rooms. He was watching all the Hammer horror movies growing up. And I own
Nice.
his first movie he did, Night Crew. Not bad at all. Not unacceptable. He made good use of what he didn't have. And his actress wife has a lot of charisma, and the other actors he has are very...
his wife was
just good.
the secretary, the partner, right, in the movie.
I think so. Yeah.
She does. I mean, she's not your atypical. It's like it's like the characters. You like the characters. You like the fact that he's this paranormal detective, and you like her because she's like I can't believe I'm in on this ride with this guy. But
Yeah. She's really good at just looking at the camera in a natural way instead of risking breaking the fourth wall and making it be too cute.
Yeah, and the ending of that movie was really good too.
Yeah.
The way they just tied everything together.
Well, I am with you. Season 13 was a big improvement in that they instead of just going with Roger Corman and Asylum stuff, they kind of went for more of just all bonkers stuff that's hard to define. Just like an antenna channel movie.
Oh yeah, I was just thinking about that too. I was like, they really picked up some good stuff. And I think this season 13 was Demon Squad, Million Eyes of Sumeru, what was the one that I saw? I was like, okay, I can get into. What was it? Oh, The Bubble.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
yes.
Nice.
That was a good movie. You
Yeah.
know, and I found it funny how Deborah Wally was the drummer in Spin Out. I didn't recognize her. I was like, she looks very familiar. And I realized she's the drummer in Spin Out in Elvis's band.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And you have Michael Cole from the Mod Squad.
Mhm.
Look at the guy who's the watchmaker. That's Olin Soleil. That's the voice of Batman.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like, and it's a pretty smart idea. These people are trapped. And like Shyamalan couldn't think of this up.
No.
It's just a really good movie. And then there was one
Mhm.
they did called The Shape of Things to Come, which I saw
Yes.
when I was like 7 years old. It's a Canadian science fiction movie.
Yeah.
It's got the little robot.
It's
It's got
unreal.
it's got Jack Palance. It's
Yeah.
well, the thing you got Jack Palance, you got John Ireland, you got the guy who was in Space 1999 with
Mhm.
Barry Morse.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got Carol Lindley, and it was a really good idea. It's a
Another
fun movie.
fun Star Wars cash-in that ends up being kind
Yeah,
of a fun Twilight Zone kind of escapade where you're just like, I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm along for it. It's loose, but it's not incomprehensible, and not like Cosmic
Yeah.
Princess, where as big as Space 99 fans as we are, I have trouble getting for that one because it's just so indecipherable.
yeah,
Mhm.
and the thing that gets me is like Palance is a bad guy, but you kind of like are kind of like thinking to yourself, all right, the Barry Morris character, who I loved him on The Fugitive,
Yeah.
when he played the Tommy Lee Jones role in the TV show,
Hmm.
and he was great as
Gerard. Yeah.
yeah, he was great in Space 1999, and he was also in, I think it was Zoo Gang back in the 70s, where he was part of a
I think so.
Brian Keith had like was the head of like a espionage gang, and but what happened was that John Ireland's in it, and John Ireland was in Gunslinger.
Yes.
Mhm.
Ireland was a great actor. One of those they really the Canadian. When I was like when they were announcing season 13, I'm like, what movie are they going to do that I really really liked as a kid? And they're going to just tear it apart, but I'm still going to like it no matter what. And I said, Shape of Things to Come. Okay, let's go for it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
There's some good
it's a
stuff
great.
here.
Got to go to another planet to stop this guy from destroying this radiological thing that this. It was like it's not The Shape of Things to Come, like the Raymond Massey movie from 1936.
No.
Without Ender Quarter producing, it's like a totally different thing. But it's a good story.
Right?
Yeah. And just like that, JG is taking the two of them off my list.
Oh,
Oh,
good.
believe me, I've got plenty more.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
There's more where I got it too.
What do you think of all the
Mhm.
Irwin Allen, Jerry Jameson directed kind of TV terror movies like Superdome, and then there's the other one, not Hangar 18, although that's fun. What's the other one? SST Death Flight.
Oh God, I remember SST Death. No, I remember Superdome.
Yeah, young Tom
I
Selleck appears for 10 seconds. Yeah.
I watched it. I don't remember who was in it. I remember my father having it on, and I was going, "What is this about, Dad?" He's like, "Oh, they're going to do something in the Superdome." He didn't tell me what the story was.
You're
Yeah,
like,
all I
this should happen.
and personally, all I want is Life Beyond the Superdome.
Oh, I see what you did there. Tina Turner wig not included. And in KTMA they also show they show a lot of other ones which I just don't feel are there yet. I prefer the Comedy Central versions, but I do recommend everyone check out uh Humanoid Woman, the Russian sci-fi film. You look at it and you're like, yeah, this is a total like Russian version of like X-Files or Star Trek, just simple, harmless cyborg movie. It's not dull, and it's not unintentionally cheesy with the dubbing. It's just kind of right. It's just a weird but easygoing movie. I think it was distributed by Roger Corman in the States. That's why they got it. I'm not sure.
You, you bring up Corman, and
Yes. Plenty of those fun movies. You're gonna watch them on Riff.
I watched the unriffed version of Gunslinger.
Yes, Beverly,
and
man,
movie
smoking.
is good. Beverly Garland. I mean, for all the for all the B movies she made, this is the one movie I think she really showed her acting chops.
Really cool, tough gal too.
Yeah, tough gal. The storyline is, her husband's the sheriff, played by the dad from Patty Duke, right?
William Shallert, I believe.
That's right. Oh my God.
He gets killed. She's trying to figure out who did it. She knows who did it. They bring in John Ireland in as the guy who's gonna bump her off. And they do make they do the whole Fred, what's Fred McMurray like, that bit. So I've watched. To me, it's the perfect 1950s, anecdote to what westerns were, and
Right?
Exactly.
I think they took that, they stole that for The Quick and the Dead with Sharon.
Definitely one of those fight to the death westerns. Definitely took something from a Roger Corman. I mean, I think at one point I actually recommend people don't watch any of these lifeless Fast and Furious movies. Watch his 1955 Fast and Furious. It's a fun excuse. And I think at one point he did almost cock block Universal, saying, hey, it's not a figure of speech. You owe me some money for using the name. But I just love how it's a mix. It's both a fugitive on the run, an unexpected romance, and a fun car chase movie. Like, three things. I love subgenres that combine other subgenres. There's nothing better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there is, but I just mean it's just fun. Yeah,
I'm surprised he didn't sue Dan O'Banion for
Alien. Yeah,
Alien, because of Blood Beast.
Oh, good question.
Remember, the pilot wakes up. He's not dead, and he's got the little with him. And the one aliens, it was like, okay, I think this is kind of like Alien, and it's a good movie. It's a fun movie to watch.
Totally.
Great giant chicken, but they're good movies. Those two movies really stand out for me as stuff you can watch off
without having to put too much extra effort. Just be in a mood, you'll have fun.
Yeah,
as
opposed to a movie which has a lot of cheese, but it takes a while to get going.
Yeah, we mentioned Roger Corman earlier. I also, on my list, there was one from Bird Eye Gordon that I thought was really well done, or it just need a few tweaks, and that was Tormented.
Yes, that's
oh wow,
that's a standout, Tom. That's a standout for him.
Yeah, and everything was there. It maybe a little bit polished here or there, and it stands up. I would watch that on Rift every day of the week.
I'll even watch some of his sword and sorcery movies just because I don't know what it is. Like I love cheesy fantasy movies. I even like I like even some of the spy movies they got on there, which are some of the lowest rated. And I'm like, I mean, who doesn't like a good assassin or Italian James Bond knockoff?
Well, I mean, you got my favorite Bird Eye Gordon. Tom brought up Tormented.
I like at the end, right?
Sword.
The magic sword.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my god.
Because that's based on the Seven Knights of Christendom.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a kid, we had that book in our church for some reason. It was this Christendom, and it's a good movie. It's very well put together. I think they gave Burt Eye the green light. Okay, give him a bigger budget. Let's see what he does. We don't have, we do have the forced photography. We do have it where it's like, I think Vampira, or what's her face was in it. Vampira was in it. She plays the hag at
Oh
who
yeah.
seduced. Yeah, that was her.
Wow. Okay. Sweet.
But when they did the movie, they did it on Mystery Science Theater. I remember Joel says to the boss, this is not a really bad movie when you think about it.
He even does that with Gamera, where he's like, it's not that bad, actually.
No. Gamera is a great movie to watch.
I have so much fun, and I get so tired of everyone doing the whole, stole from Godzilla. I'm like, everybody's going to borrow from something eventually.
Yeah.
And sometimes it has nothing to do with it, but because it came second, they just steal some of the marketing. It's some of the creature features, you do kind of get a Full Moon, Charles Band kind of vibe, and even some of the other spy assassin movies, you kind of almost feel like that directly inspired Matt Helm in a way.
Well,
if not Austin Powers, it just or our man Flint, one of those over the top.
Well, the one I love is Secret Agent Super Dragon.
It's so much fun, very suspenseful, catching music, and I see so many people say, "Oh, that was a turkey." I'm like, I doubt that's worth the 2 out of 10 star rating on IMDb that you're giving it, because I've seen plenty of those movies. They even with their loose plots, like they still have enough to go on for a beginning, middle, and end, followed by a sudden fight scene that's actually not half bad. I mean, I don't know what else you want in a spy movie.
There's humor in that movie too.
Yeah, because you intentional.
Exactly.
That Babyface, the guy, his but you like him, and then you got him making all these double entendres and stuff like that.
Oh,
and
totally.
the great about it is it's the way the story is put together. It's like, all right, put this here, put this here, put this here. Okay, this looks good. This looks good. This looks good. All right, and he's he was a good actor. The guy who played Super Dragon.
I think he was on a soap opera or some other Italian spaghetti westerns, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong.
There's the other Danger Death Ray.
Yeah, that's the Goldfinger plot line.
I mean, granted, it's got that cheap looking thing when the helicopter lands on
the fun.
But that's the fun of the whole, that whole spy thing, and the ending where he throws the TV out where the guy's going, why? That's from our man Flint, Flint, Flint. So I've seen those two done, on Rift, and they were pretty good. They're the Italian, they're the Euro spy genre, including Operation 007.
Thank you. I made sure to rewatch that as soon as Noah Connery passed away, and again, so many people are hard on the guy. I'm like, well, if he's dubbed, you lose the right to critique him. It's not his voice. It's not his performance. And
it was somebody. It was he actually was going to dub it. He had an appendix operation.
Yeah.
So
you try doing your best on set when you're trying to hold back the pain when they didn't have painkillers back then.
and then the thing that gets me is like, Sean was pissed. If you ever read the story, Sean was pissed that Lois Maxwell and the guy who played M and then turned around. He's like, "Well, thank you for giving my brother a chance to act." Which was like, oh, cool. And it's a good, it's a good spy.
I like how meta it is, because he played apparently the role in like some other like international Hong Kong British production, and then I mean, you gotta love a knockoff movie when it does something like that, where they're like, oh, and by the way, we're technically in the same universe, whether the distributor agrees with it or not.
I mean, don't you remember Neil Connery? But they do a lot of 007 jokes, but it's like, it's the thing I like is like, there's people you do recognize, like, it's got my favorite Bond girl in it.
Oh yes. Oh my goodness.
Of who I like was salivating teenager. And that's the great thing about it. She's in it. Largo's in it, who plays the bad guy. There's so much. You know.
So I was on Time Shifters podcast, and they do a sub series called MST3k on Rift, and I decided to do that. It's on YouTube. Anyone can find the uncut version, but we were pretty much all in agreement. It's like there's really not much different from what you see. There's just like some extra exposition and extended stuff of the, I call them the Hellcats, even though it's not the same movie, of the Von Villainesses in the desert. But other than that, it's pretty much the same movie, and they explain a little better how he's good at with using his psychic abilities and arrow shooting skills.
Yeah.
That aren't as explained in the TV edit, but it's all good. You know, like you say, it's just to show this much passion on screen while doing a knockoff movie. I mean, that says a lot. I mean, some people are still in debate on whether or not it's a comedy or not. I'm like, either way, it's sarcastic. That's basically what it is. It's just people having
It's
fun.
self-aware.
It's self-aware without being like Roland Emmerich, where you're clueless as to what kind of tone you're taking.
Yeah.
And I know some people like Roland Emmerich. I'm not trying to bash him, but I'm just saying it's just not every filmmaker acknowledges their flaws. Like, you know, it's one thing if you're doing schlock like a, you know, Fred Olen Ray, Jim Wynorski, where, you know, they've always done that, so they're going to keep doing that, versus someone who's, you know, started out with a Corman type production company and then does bigger budget productions, and sometimes they do all right with it, and other times it makes me go, why not? They should just go back to independent film, because they're clearly not able to compromise with the suits, or
the
big budget's just not for them. They're used to being low budget.
And I'm probably gonna get excommunicated for this, but I'm gonna actually praise both a Joe Don Baker movie and a Ray Don
I just
Clark
knew some
movie.
Mitchell praise was coming.
Not Mitchell. Final Justice.
Yes.
You know, I have seen the uncut version of it. It does have some disturbing sleaze, but there's just something about just, it does have that. I mean, I can't blame them for picking it, because it's a total Spike TV USA Network kind of movie, just that kind of film. I mean, well, the whole plot is Free Tinda Yuma. It is a marshal, half Native American. He's the third in his bloodline, and then he's doing the whole, you know, you shot my partner. I got no other reason. That's good. That's good enough for me to go across and break every border law.
And Joe Don Baker's a badass in the movie, but I'm gonna I gotta say, I've watched Mitchell on Rift. Holy crap!
Yeah.
The guy's
so worth it for that John Saxon extended death.
Oh God, yeah. You know, and the way he's just like, he's like, you know, he's with Martin. Martin Balsam.
Yes.
He's like trying to get Martin Balsam, you know, confess about everything. And at some point, it's like you're just sitting there, you're like, okay, it's Joe Don Baker. He's just done Walking Tall. He did Adam at 6 a.m.
He did Framed, which is a very cool
you know, he did
revenge movie. Yeah.
He did Charlie Varick. You know, he's playing not Dirty Harry in this. He's actually, it's like Andrew McLaughlin, like, all right, we're gonna have Dirty Harry, but he's gonna be a little bit more of a, you know, softer around the edges kind of guy, but he just gets shit done, you know.
It's called an anti-hero, and
like Dusty Steve. We'll call him. He's not Dirty Harry. He's Dusty Steve.
And I love about that is they actually, like, when you watch the movie on Rift, and you know, there's a lot of stuff that kind of, like, you know, they did alternate takes and stuff like that.
Cut for time. The stickers are different, but it is interesting how you actually understand it better. When you watch the MST3k version, you think, okay, so he's just a douchebag taking advantage of this, when they don't really make much of a difference, but they kind of just play more into, hey, he's a tough love kind of guy, you know, yada yada. He's still going to turn anyone who's a criminal in, even if he's romantically involved with them, yada yada.
He's kind of like, okay, you know, Eastwood in the first couple movies, you know, he doesn't have that much of a dimension to him. This guy has dimension to him. You know, this guy's like,
and
you know,
I never had an issue with Joe Don, and I get annoyed when sometimes people go, oh, you know, he's a bad actor. I'm like, when? Since when?
He plays the type, but
what's wrong with this guy? He was kind of David Caruso for was the thing, just a reliable dude who can beat people up and then still, do more than just say his lines on time, just become the lovable tough guy.
For Christ's sake, the first one.
Yeah, the first one's great.
Yeah.
He does Eye Shy. He was in 3 James Bond movies.
You're free. Who else can say that? Yeah.
He's in one of the movies they should have done that they never got a chance to. That's the Golden Needles, which was
yes,
that's a fun James Bond parody. I think he's in this movie where he has to fight off savage dogs that have attacked the town. he's in the heat of the night. And Mars attacks. He's hysterical as Jack Black's uncle or whatever.
Heat of the night. Great. He jumped in, because Carol Connor had to have bypass surgery.
It was the only thing they had left to play. He was the playing card.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, we'll bring Joe Don Baker back," and he was good. He played it. Everybody, that movie, it's known as Joel's last episode. And this, but a lot of people don't realize, this was a movie that was like, it was B movie. It was a B movie,
yes.
movie, and that's what made it good. You had Linda Evans, who post Big Valley. You've got John Saxon. You've got Martin Balsam. You've got Merlin Olsen. You've got who else was in that movie? I keep thinking about. And Andrew McLaughlin, who was a great director, and his father was Victor McLaughlin. So, it was all. And Andrew McLaughlin, did he do The Shooting?
I think so. I think he was on one of those big Western shows that wasn't Gunsmoke, but was
no. The Wayne's last movie.
Oh, The Shoot is 76. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's check. Okay. Okay, let's see what we got here. Yeah, I see Richard Boone, Rick Lenz. Yeah,
McLaughlin.
Let's see.
Director.
No, my bad. So close. That was Don Siegel. So, but either way,
right.
Similar. McLaughlin was always reliable for doing a fun World War II gritty picture. With the all-star cast. That wasn't the Dirty Dozen.
Yeah, and speaking of all-star cast, another one that I absolutely love that doesn't get enough love, in my opinion, Space Travelers.
Yes. No, was it Stranded? Yeah, Space Travelers,
yeah. But also has Stranded. I tried to stay away from TV pilot movies, but Stranded in Space was another one that I thought just had so much potential, but just the execution wasn't there.
But But I don't mind it. It's just kind of lazy Sunday fare. I mean, I would watch it if I had nothing else to watch. I would probably rewatch it again.
Didn't that take from that British movie? What was that one about the planet around the sun?
Yes, it was Jerry and Sylvia Anderson.
Far Side of the Sun.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, where they were. We had an astronaut go to the other side.
Look at you guys go.
Everything is flipped.
Man. Okay, shoot. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah. And the thing with that, Tom, guess who produced Stranded in Space? Bing Crosby.
Bing freaking Crosby. Wow.
Nice.
Did that, yeah. But the thing I love about that.
Now there, Gary, I'm going to be putting on the Space Travelers. So you go over there or I'll beat you.
Yeah, get over there. I'll beat you like my other boys. We're in the blue of the night. It's the black and blue of your face. Gary, come here, Gary. Gary, Gary's one of my a little fat ass. That's what he is, a little fat ass. We're in the blue of the night. If I see you again, you may get a punch in the face. But yeah, all kidding aside, but that movie, the way they did it was so, it's like, oh, he's on another planet, but it's like Earth, and it's I forgot he he gets on the rocket at the end, but he runs off, and now he's got a.
Trace says it's like the only one they wish they didn't actually do.
Yeah.
For a while, he would joke around and say they all deserve it, but he's like, no, really, I could live without them riffing this one because it's harmless. It's not a confusing plot or actors being hammy.
Well, there's the one that they did that was Film Ventures' way of just taking over a movie and cutting a lot, which was Space Travelers, which is
the irony, just adding confusing opening credits that have nothing to do with the movie.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just sitting there and I'm like, this is Maroon. But I love the way that movie Marooned was unbelievable back then,
Yes.
Where they hey, it was a great story. What if they were trapped in space? Yeah. What if they had the launch? And I guarantee, Film Ventures, of course, has to cut out a lot of stuff, but it's got a great. It's got.
You got Gregory Peck. Gregory freaking Peck. David Jansen. You've got.
I still
Richard
see Fox
Crenna.
movies.
You've got Gene freaking Hackman.
I still see Fox movies aired on occasion too.
How can you not love a movie like that? You have so many great actors
Richard Crenna, James Franciscus, Gene Hackman, Gregory Peck, David Jansen, David Doyle, Patty,
Marriott Hartley.
I keep thinking Marriott Hartley. Who's the other one? Nancy. Oh shit! I'm trying to remember who the other wives were. But I'm like watching this, and I'm like watching. I'm like, I remember seeing Marooned as a kid on WSBK because they would play it. They play the movie Marooned, and I was really into the space program when I was young. So that was like the big thing. Like, oh, what if they, what if this really were to happen?
Mm-hmm. It was Apollo 13 before Apollo 13.
There you go. I'm sure Roger Corman Ron Howard took a few shots from it.
Yeah, and who directed that movie? Was it John? It wasn't John Schlesinger. It was who the hell?
I wish that would be wild.
No. It was
John Sturges.
John Sturges, yeah.
John Sturges. All the Steve McQueen hit movies, man. Okay. Wow. Oh, man. That's some good stuff. I could not have even predicted the direction you guys were going to go. That's awesome. Do we have any fans of for better or worse, The Last Chase, or is that one a little too much? Because I know a lot of people weren't minding it. I kind of found it a rough thing, but I kind of had fun with it. It was kind of Battlefield Earth before it was a thing.
Yeah.
The Last Chase?
Yeah. The one where Burgess Meredith is like in a George Orwell society hunting and killing people. That's part of KTMA. Sorry.
No, that might have been before KT. I never saw the KTMA stuff.
Yeah.
No, it's a fun one. It's just it's another film that people shit on just because Lee Majors was having an affair on set and all this and that, or no, Farrah Fawcett was having an affair or something. Just all the personal troubles were made out before it even came out. And much like Bur Gordon type stuff, I see people being such snobs. I'm like, I don't see anything wrong with the budget or intent. It's pretty straightforward. You guys are just being silly.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, Tom, sorry.
Okay. Who's on first?
One thing well, anyway, a lot of the films I put on my list to talk about were ones that intrigued me because they had a great story, or at least they had an interesting twist that I could say, oh yeah, that would make for a good movie or a better movie under better circumstances. Ones like I Accuse My Parents.
Yes.
Or
take out the lifeless lead and you got an awesome gangster movie. Take out all the PSA shit and the annoying parents and but keep the main female lead and the villain and man, You'll have a fun winter.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll go one better, Tom. The Sinister Urge.
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
That's another one. I also am a big fan of the Beatniks.
That's a
a lot of those biker movies could be a lot of fun. I mean, I would even remake the Robot versus the Aztec Mummy. I would just have there be more actual mummies and cyborg mayhem, and then I'd have some cool like Egyptian prophecy, and then I'd have a cool just nonstop battle in the last 20 minutes.
well,
Yeah, go ahead.
the one that gets me the most is like they did Santo and the Tomb of Dracula.
Yes.
Mhm.
The luchador movies, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't realize El Santo made like
30 of them or some shit. Yeah, like a bunch.
Loved he was in Mexico. When he died, they had like a state funeral for him.
Yes.
And he surrendered his mask to his son because that's something they do in lucha culture.
Yeah, just like actual wrestling culture, you take up the mantle, you pass on the torch to the next of kin. Yeah,
I know that I think the only one that came here was Samson versus the Vampire Woman.
I think so. The rest were just very obscure, or maybe a few Texas or New Mexico drive-ins, but it was not many. It was It took years for some of those to even be translated into Mill Creek type VHS and DVD sets. I find it harmless too. I don't understand why some of those movies are considered the worst.
Well, the thing with El Santo was, do you guys remember Commander USA and his groovy movies?
Yes.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, no, I saw it years after the fact, but yeah.
That was on that show. I remember very, very clear.
Nice.
Because I was watching the episode and I was like, wait, this was on Commander USA. So was The Crawling Eye.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, which is a great movie to watch.
Yeah.
Considering that, The Crawling Eye could be about a crawling eye, or it could be about,
it could be any kind of crawling eye. Yeah.
Funny you should mention the ones that could be movies or things could be remade. I thought
anything you can build upon, man. Anything.
Yeah, I think you could easily redo either Wild Rebels or the Hellcats.
Yeah.
Yes.
You could redo Wild Rebels. The one thing they would have to do is tone down the one with the one character who's got like the brain damage.
Oh yeah.
Banjo, yeah. They would have to tone that down a little bit or make that a little bit more, he's not, not all there. But that movie, The Wild Rebels, that's a great movie to watch now.
Yeah.
And what was the one they did? Now, wait, the Beatniks was the one with the chief from Get Smart, right?
Oh,
yeah, that was I have it on my list, as a matter of fact. I'm trying to remember what it was. That one, the Rebel Set.
The Rebel Set is a good one.
Rebel Set.
I mean, you'll find people who even love freaking the Bronx Warriors. I see so many people trying to destroy it, and I know many who are still getting every Blu-ray purchase, and I had nothing wrong with it. I mean,
I saw the Italian version. I went about 4 years ago. I went to the X Film Fest. I think I've told you this.
I think so,
they played the Italian dub version of Escape 2000, which is the sequel to the Bronx Warriors, right? Yeah. So what we find out is that the reason why the guy Trash wore a jacket is in the original movie. Remember how jacked he was?
Yeah.
Okay.
And seeing the original definitely would benefit a lot of people, but if you're coming in and watching part 2, there's always going to be something left out.
Yeah. So what happened was that he basically lost the muscle mass.
Yes.
And wearing a jacket. And then I come to find out that the Toblerone character, right?
and he did a
died.
lot of spaghetti westerns. Yeah.
Yeah, he died. That's whatchamacallit's father.
I think there was another guy named Richard Green or something like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who the guy was who played Toblerone, the rebel leader.
And Toblerone's role got passed on to the
Toblerone,
next
yeah.
of kin.
Oh, yes,
like
yes. Yeah. He was Zabato. And every time I'm at a freaking 7-Eleven, I see a Toblerone. I'm like, I almost want to shout out his name.
Yeah, that's what I was. That was his dad.
Yeah.
And the thing they did, I mean, that movie was released by Samuel Goldwyn.
Yes. And they cock-blocked the release of it, I think, too. Like, you still can't get a physical copy of it. You can get it on the Gizmoplex, I think, and definitely on YouTube. But I mean, I just love how, I mean, you look at even the first one they did, which I think RiffTrax later did, and there's like a giant fight scene montage, and just watching it, you're like, that. I feel like I just understand Tarantino better, like, but the 70s are doing it. You're having Fred freaking Williamson, who did it on a lunch break from New York.
Yeah, and the thing that I love about the Escape 2000 is that, again, it's a great story. It's a what if story,
and not to be confused with the other Aussie, fight to the death apocalyptic movie.
And the way they did it was just like, you're just like watching. You're like, okay, I get what's going on here. Okay, this is what needs to be done. At this point, they're like, they were given a bigger budget, I think, because I know that the Bronx Warriors did make a lot of money, from what I understand.
I think so. Because,
yeah.
I mean, just look at it. I mean, they look not only like Walter Hill's The Warriors in title only, but also freaking, Escape New York.
That whole thing, that was still part of the zeitgeist of that time, that whole post-apocalyptic thing. And now to have the guy come back and we see his family, and the way the whole thing is fought out at the end, where it's just like, you're just sitting there, you're like, it's unbelievable. And then the plot is, Trash has to get, with the help of Lady Nosferatu, has to get another hero to help him take down the bad guy, and the other hero has a son. I mean, it's just this whole complicated weave of a plot, but it's fun to watch.
Right? That's all I can ask for,
Yeah.
Fun.
And there's one more movie that I really loved, and I haven't had a chance to see it unripped yet, but I think it would still stand up, and that's Kitten with a Whip.
Yes. Oh,
inside of that movie, there is a solid plot, a great idea, and all in all, not horribly executed. It's stuff that you could see happening today, even, and it's like, it's universal. It will still keep happening.
They were trying to get Anne Margaret to do more serious roles, because there's another movie she did where she doesn't do any singing or dancing or anything like that. She plays like the wife of this guy that Van Heflin like shoots at the end of the movie, and she's not really makeup or anything like that. But Kitten with a Whip, that was taking her to a new uncharted territory. Because remember, she'd just done, I think, Viva Las Vegas, and
I think so.
I think they told her, all right, Anne, here's a new script. What do you think of it? It's just going to be very low budget, but how you're going to do it. And she probably just went like, oh, this will be good for me to do this, to show me that I'm not a sex kitten, to show that I'm kitten, but I've got acting. And it's
the thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
And the thing is, she did play up the sex kitten element, but she also played up the more serious side of it. So they were
still a vigilante, and at the same time, just a cool, like, kind of like Mitchell in a way, where, hey, I'm imperfect, but this is what I got to work with,
Yeah. And Margaret nailed it. She hit it out of the park with that. She was coquettish at times, and other times you could see she was conniving. And William Forsythe, he was just he commanded the screen when he was there, and he played up that role well beyond what the
Yeah.
scriptwriter probably could ever consider.
Totally, he's a good actor. I love him.
Well, the thing I loved about that was like, he plays this guy who's, and we do find from a backstory that his marriage is starting to break up a little bit. Because remember, he said, and if you read in the story, was like, "Where's your wife?" Oh, Jeannie took the kids down to see her mother.
Yeah.
So, and he's like this political candidate or something like that. And so, we get the gist of that because him and Richard Anderson are talking about it. And, and that's like the first time Richard Anderson was like in a big movie. But the thing I love about that is like, when she brings the friends over, and the one guy is like this, like really sort of like, like roid rage case.
Oh God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Other is hip, hey, they dropped the bomb tomorrow. We do what we need, blah, 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 blah. And then the one girl who's in it is like, oh wow, this is so dreamy. And she's like, it's like, she kind of like looks at like William John Forsythe and goes, yeah, you don't know what you stumbled into.
Yes.
It's not here.
It's not, that girl you met who's like, the runaway. Nah, that's
No.
you met a girl who's gonna fuck your shit up. And I mean, that's the great thing about that movie is like, kind of it gives that little twist, like, it's like, I went, like they go down to Tijuana, like it's like, they do this whole bit where it's kind of taken from the what was the one, Touch of Evil,
Oh
where
yes.
you can see that kind of influence of Touch of Evil, when they're going through the marketplace and all that, and they go to the strip show, and there's the one that says, man, Andy Grant's getting progressive, but that's the great thing about it, he's like, what are you doing in Tijuana? Oh, we're just just wanted to get away for a while, and then like he frames the one guy, says, oh, officer, this man was trying to sell marijuana to me, and that's, I mean, it's like the thing is, Forsythe's character is that he's trying to get his way out of it.
Yeah.
And that's a good movie. He's trying to get his way out of Anne Margaret's claws. He's trying to get his way out of, not getting in trouble because he's a political candidate for some party. We don't know who. It's all this stuff that's going on, and that's what makes it such a good movie. I'm sorry if I'm dominating this conversation.
No, you're fine, dude.
No.
I'm just trying to think. What is the other space movie? I thought it had a young Richard Kill. It's during sci-fi era, but I actually like this one. Riffs aside, I'm just trying to think. There's like this other
Human
space...
Duplicators?
No. It's more. It is later before they went off the air. Like this guy just is shrunken down to mouse size on a mouse-sized planet.
Oh,
Phantom Planet.
That's the one, yes. And Mike has a hysterical riff going, I should call the police when the main bad guy's trying to romanticize the female lead. But it's a harmless movie. Like, I could watch it by its own. It's slow, but it's not. I mean, I could watch most of these movies. I think it's Catwoman on the Moon. I could watch all those kinds of movies because, again, it doesn't have to. Well, it doesn't have to be Star Wars level to be epic,
The one, exactly. the one that gets me the most, and I'm surprised we haven't brought this up, is the Russian Finnish movies they did.
Yes,
there's the movie that everybody talks about, and they said because of Mystery Science Theater, they went back, they found the original print, they found the original score, and everything in there was The Sword and the Dragon, which became which goes by the name of what's the main character's name in The Sword and the Dragon? Not Lemminkainen.
Oh, yeah. Shoot.
That's The Day the Earth Froze, which is another one they reprinted and remastered. The one, oh shit, what was the name of that one? Crap. Sword and the Dragon goes by a different name altogether.
I think so. There's the Sword and the Dragon, and there's like something else.
There's the 3 Russian Finnish ones they did. The one that was Sinbad, that wasn't Sinbad, that's called Sudoku.
Oh, it's something Voyage of Sinbad, and then there's like
The Magic Voyage of Sinbad, but it's not a Sinbad movie. There's The Day the Earth Froze, which goes by the name of Lemminkainen, which they just released the new print of. They just did The Sword and the Dragon. Ilya Muromets, that's the name of the movie.
Go.
Ilya Muromets. Those movies made in Russia during the communist regime, right? Right, I think after Stalin died.
One of the first Coppola movies that he re-edited, I think.
Yeah. And what happened was that they found the original prints. I saw the original prints remastered and redone. They're amazing. This is like Lord of the Rings kind of shit.
This is all you had as a kid back then, you know? You go to the theater and watch puppets and costumes, and I mean that's why I like even some of the sword and sorcery. But like I could watch Deathstalker 3 by itself, even though the acting is stupid and everything. It's like, well,
I can't say anything bad about Deathstalker 3 because first off, I'm friends on Facebook with Tom Christopher, who played the
Oh yeah.
I met him in life. I said, Truck Sardis, we meet again at last for the first time. And he laughing. I said, you don't know how bad I have watched Deathstalkers 3 and I've watched the Mystery Science Theater version. He says, oh, you have? I'm like, yes. He's like, oh, I was looking at him. I was like, I just, he just gave me that look of like, yeah, I know how bad it was, but it paid the bills, because, he's a 2-time Emmy winner too. For
nice.
So it had him. It had John Allen Nelson from friggin' Hunk. Remember that movie Hunk?
Yes.
Oh yes.
He's actually a pretty good actor. He's done a lot of recurring TV, but he's done all kinds of movies too, especially for Corbin.
We'll return after these messages.
Hey, it's Brent Pope, the host of Breakfast with Brent Pope. You've seen me on some of your favorite TV shows saying things like, give it up, Jimmy. You got to sink this putt to win. On Breakfast with Brent Pope, I sit down with guests from the entertainment world, and we do it all over breakfast. Or should I say Brentfast? Every week on Brentfast, you get inside Hollywood info and tips, great breakfast recs and foodie debates. Most of all, you get the most delightful 30 minutes of your week. So dig in. It's Brentfast time. Listen at Brentfast.com, Apple Podcasts, or wherever fine podcasts are found.
Do you ever find yourself thinking about who would win in a fight between Goku and Superman? Hi, I'm James Gavsey, and on the Who Would Win show, me and my co-host Ray ignore anything important happening in the outside world and debate fictional battles between characters from comics, movies, and video games.
We got a new show every week, and almost always am I the winner.
Yeah, not true, Ray.
In the past, we've discussed such matches as Captain America versus Darth Vader, Solid Snake versus the Iron Giant, classic matchups like RoboCop versus Terminator, and even the Muppets versus Sesame Street.
That one was crazy. So if you're a fan of geek culture and love a spirited debate, check out the Who Would Win show wherever you get your podcasts, or check us out at whowouldwinshow.com.
And then the guy who played Vendijo in Puma Man is in it.
Oh yes.
Oh
and
yeah.
He was in Herzog's Fitzcarraldo. Yeah.
No, he was in Fitzcarraldo.
Yeah.
He was in was it the one with the Mexican. Remember the one with Brad Pitt and Julia?
Oh God. Yeah.
Yes.
I have trouble getting into that one, but I know what you mean. Yeah, he's in there. I think he's briefly in Blow as one of the drug muscles.
Yeah, so that guy's had a major career, and I follow him on Facebook. But like the thing is, that movie is so fun to watch because, granted, it's a sword and sorcery epic, and the first 2 Deathstalkers, you're kind of like out the window going, eh. This one, I think they knew they were in on the joke. This one, I think they were just going, hey, chew the scenery as much as you want. Go ahead. people are going to have fun watching that. And the great thing about Tom Christopher is that he's just so good at playing the villain in this.
He loves doing stuff like that.
He's like another village under my protection came under attack. What happened? And it's like he you can tell he's just like he's looking at the role going, okay, I know I got to be the bad guy. I know I got to do this. I know I got to do this. I know I got to do this. I am not. I am not going to be like he's like kind of like how Jay Robinson was in The Robe. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm gonna give Jay. He's good. He's the Jay Robinson, and he does that thing where he's just like, I know I'm the bad guy. I know you're gonna hate me, but God, am I gonna do a good job doing it? And he's got the female companion with him too. Remember her?
Yes, she owned it. She aced it.
And
go ahead. I'd say I'd even put Tom Christopher up on the Sid Haig level of villainry. Draco from Jason the Star Command.
Yeah.
Then Tom Christopher, neck and neck.
Yeah, and I
close. Yeah.
I guess this year they did Beyond Atlantis, and that's the first good guy role I've seen Sid Haig in. He's not the bad guy in it.
Yeah, it's pretty rare to see him in a good guy role.
He plays Patrick Wayne's pal, and he's like he uses the term mother grabber a lot. I don't think they could say mother effer or something like that.
Right.
And he's doing this role, and it's like, all right, I'm not going to be the bad guy. I'll just be the ambiguous guy. And the thing is that I loved about it was that he's at the end, he's just like, all right, yeah, fuck it. I'll just, I'll do what I want to do when I want to do it. That's the great thing about him in that movie, But then there's another movie that was out that I thought was really good. That's Outlaw of Gore.
Yeah.
And
I can definitely see that.
Outlaw of Gore, which was, there's two, they shot it back to back. There's Gore with Oliver Reed, and then there's Outlaw of Gore, which is the second one with Jack Palance. And, I think Jack Palance is in the first one too. And that movie's pretty good to watch, especially the end where he breaks the sword over his knee. And I'm like,
yeah.
How the hell do you do that?
Stuff you can't even get done nowadays. It'll totally kill you.
It's like, that's fun to watch. And then when we were talking about movies that basically had a lot of people in it that, okay, my personal unriffed movie of all time, Angel's Revenge.
Oh, yes.
I love that movie. Gray Don Clark, God bless him, one of the best 70s B directors of all time. He was married. He was married. He was married to Jackie Cole, who was the teacher in the movie.
Yes.
It's supposed to be a different title altogether. I think they played it on TV and put it as Angel's Revenge. And it should be like Angels, something else.
I wouldn't be surprised. Retitled for the sake of it.
The RiffTrax version, Neville Brand is in the movie. They cut his part out. What we find out is that the cop who's in the group is reporting back to Neville Brand all the stuff they're doing.
Yes.
Oh.
And, you watch that movie, it's like, all right, granted, a lot of the people in that movie were kind of like, on their way out the door, not right. Alan Hale. Like Pat Buttram, yeah, he was still famous from Green Acres. Jim Backus was still.
Jim Backus, there's a name. Yeah.
Jim Backus was still with us. Peter Lawford, okay, yeah, that, he was kind of like tilting towards the end. because you can tell at that point he's really starting to like, he doesn't look like the Peter Lawford, I knew growing, watching those, he was drinking and, so he's kind of like out of it. And then Jack Palance is in it.
Yep.
And
I outlived them all.
Yeah. And, he supposedly, from what I understood, like the budget, he got paid in bottles of scotch. But it's a good movie,
it's not gonna hurt me.
It's Charlie's Angels taken up a notch. It's like okay, you get this team of women that are going to beat the shit out of these drug dealers. And I love that. I love that, unexpected thing that's going to happen. The way they do everything in that movie. It's unexpected.
Right. And we're just getting used to how, again, just not every movie is what you think it is on the surface. You really do want to sit down and analyze it.
Yeah.
Well,
one of the ones that I really got into after I watched it on MST was Parts, the Clonus horror.
Yeah.
There's a very dark but very meaningful story in there. And I'm flabbergasted that more people don't like it.
Well, it's not only that, but remember, they sued the guys who did The Island.
Yes. And I actually like both. But
and that everybody was going, wait, Parts the Clonus horror? Hold on a minute. Let's go back. And they saw the movie and they were like, oh, now I get what they were doing. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and what really makes me love it so much is that it harkens back to Human Duplicators, and it plays on so many different elements of so many great science fiction movies, and even some of the ones like Stranded in Space.
Most of them have written so much syndicated TV, and they just had to do a picture on the side.
Well, I'll give Tom credit. Human Duplicators is a good movie to watch on Rift.
Yes.
Science fiction, doing with something, playing with science, and that's kind of like, the gifts to this, because, but the great thing about that movie is it's the first time you see Richard Kiel really act as an actor,
Instead of just be the tall guy. Yeah.
I'm not supposed to be here, Lisa. I'm, and it's like, okay, it's Richard Kiel, he played Jaws, but it's like you do feel sorry for him at some point,
right?
But it's a good cast too, because you got Hugh Beaumont, you've got
Mike does love marrying Hugh Beaumont. Jeez.
Who the hell else was in that shit? Barbara Nichols, who had been in Nichols, who I watched on Celebrity Bowling. And then she was also in The Sweet Smell of Success with Tony Curtis and Burt Lancaster. So she was a name. And then you got the guy who was the secret agent who actually appeared in The Million Eyes of Sumeru and Beyond Atlantis.
Yeah.
The guy, the Dick Clark looking guy.
Yeah. The guy who's like, the guy, allow me to gesture like Michael Dukakis. And then there's, it's a good story, people, they're making Android replace people, and that's a great, a great story. And then there was another one they did where I was kind of like, I kind of looked and I went, oh, what? Women of the Prehistoric Planet.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
those are fun. Yeah.
That's kind of like a surprise to watch, because it's like the cast is like John Agar, I'm thinking Irene Sue, Wendell Corey, Stuart Margolin is in it, Robert Ito, who played Sam on Sam. It was murder, Sam, murder. Um, and they had it was a good twist ending too. That's what made it such a good ending. I'll give you guys a case in point that was really kind of surprising, and I remember seeing it on Rift. Alien from L.A.
Yeah, Albert Pion. I like a lot of Albert Pion ones. I think everyone gives this one a little harder one because Kathy's voice is pretty whiny, but it's kind of goofy, stupid, silly. Fun.
Have you guys ever seen the sequel?
No, I didn't know they even make one.
Oh yeah, I heard about
Journey
it.
to the Center of the Earth.
Another thing he did for canon.
Yeah. Golden Globus had shot footage, and I think they ran out of money or something like that, right? Or it just didn't come out. So they asked Albert Pyong, okay, get some of the people from Alien from LA, and we'll have the people from, we'll just write out the girl gets rescued and all this, but we'll have them go down into the bowels of Atlantis. So you find out the rat girl loses her tail. The guy who was spinning around is actually the old cook from Wanda's place where she works. And then at the end, the kid who was Wyatt or Gary in Weird Science winds up falling for the rat girl, and the rat girl comes up to the surface, and she's like a punk rocker. It's just a fun. It's just so. And Kathy Ireland makes a surprise appearance at the end.
Oh wow! Okay, so it was leftover footage, I think.
Yeah, there was leftover footage because Emo Phillips was in the leftover footage, and then they kind of were like, all right, we'll just shoot all the shit you did from Golden Globes. We're like, all right, just bring back the actors. We got to fill in the time here. We'll just write the story up as we go along. And I think Albert Pyong was kind of like pissed, but he was kind of like, oh, okay, we'll know what to do here,
Yeah, I have done all kinds of movies and shows and TV interviews. I interviewed Chaos, who directed all kinds of things. He's done way better movies since, but he was best known as the director of Ballistic X vs. Sever. And I was like, they kind of gave you a raw deal, kind of like Albert Pyong, just kind of discriminating against, a rising Asian filmmaker. And it is wild how everyone has encountered Albert Pyong in some fashion, one way or another, whether it's his Nemesis cyborg films or one of his other goofy canon films, or when he just starts doing all these other bizarre films with Ice-T, Burt Reynolds, and all these other German and B-movie actors. Yeah, he's a trip, but he's a lot of fun.
Unfortunately, we lost him, I think, the end of last year.
Yeah, unfortunately so.
I think he had Alzheimer's or something like that. And I got to tip my hat to him, for the two movies that he made that I saw. I was just, for Alien from LA, that was an amazing movie,
Yeah.
To bring the idea of Journey to the Center of the Earth, Sagnussen, you hear Sagnussen and the Lost City of Atlantis and all this stuff. And it's a movie where you just watch it and you're like, okay, I know it's low budget. I know that the story kind of jumbles back and forth, and it's Kathy Ireland, and you're just trying to say to yourself, okay, let's take it from here, and we'll just go as we'll do as we go along. And I didn't realize Deep Roy was in it.
Yeah. The original Yoda body performer and Charlie and Chocolate Factory remake. He's done all kinds of things, and it was definitely one of the first movies I saw him in.
And I love the fact when they're coming down the thing, it's like, tonight Sam Giancana does Pagliacci.
Yes.
My mom heard that, she lost it because we were watching at my house. It was like a summer afternoon, and it was like right after we got right after we got Comedy Central, and they were playing the ones, and when they said that line, she just cracked up.
I can't blame her. It is a hoot. It's great music.
There's a couple more I'd like to just bring up for honorable mention. Laser Blast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for Empire Pictures, Charles Band, blown up those various movie posters with that big ass gun. I'll tell you right now, Doom, you ripped it off.
Yeah.
The BFG.
Laser Blast, kind of one of those, it's going to be at the drive-in. Let's go see it. I saw it on Channel 9 here when I was a kid.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. There's a lot more cut out that wasn't cut out. Found out that,
the main guy's kind of a creep, and then there's
found out Cheryl Rainbow Smith was in the adult version of Cinderella.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which you asked your dad about, and he was like, "How do you know about this?" Michael Pataki's in.
Oh, that's when I saw what's her face from Deep Throat. The thing. No, we were in the movie theater last year, and we're at the X Fest, and they play the trailer for Cinderella, and I go, "Oh!" I yell out in the middle of the trailer. I yell out, "Holy shit! I saw this in high school on Cinemax," and everybody just like, "What?" and my buddy goes, I go, "Wait, the chick." I'm like, the chick. That's Cheryl Rainbow Smith. She was in a whole bunch of movies, but she was the girlfriend in Laser Blast. Yeah. So, and the funny thing is, the guy who directed that version of Cinderella was Michael Pataki, who plays JC in Side Hackers.
Yes.
There you go.
Michael Pataki was a
I promise we will discuss it one day. We have so many other William Smith and other B movie actors we're gonna definitely mention, because this is what we all love doing this. We love talking about all the Lance Henriksen, Tony Todds, even the Yancey Butlers and
William Smith,
and all these guys who made a living just giving it their all the Ernest Borgnine, all these guys who we've grown up with in some capacity, and even in the most lowbrow movies, all the Robert Loggias, all the, just
all the Rutger Hauers, all the
Clancy
Browns,
even some of our more comedic actors. We've talked about so many of them. Just, I'll remember, I was crying this year when Richard Belzer passed away, but I was even crying when other people like Cloris Leachman passed away. I'm like, all these people have been a huge part of society with their many personas, and showed up on times, never heard a bad thing about.
I think the thing with the movies that we saw in Mystery Science Theater that were really good was that, granted they were making fun of them, but I think deep inside our hearts, we were going, this is not as bad as we thought it was. No. I mean, you take it like The Castle of Fu Manchu. That's a good movie to watch. But
okay, so now that sorry, I struggled with that one.
But hear me out. It's a movie I can't watch now because what the hell happens in it? He's going to freeze the world. And I do feel kind of guilty watching it because of the fact that, it's Christopher Lee. That's the great thing about it. It's Christopher Lee.
Yeah.
But of course, Christopher Lee has to, do the whole,
Yeah, I mean, the
John Wayne is Genghis Khan bit.
Yeah.
That's one of the few minor quibbles. The main thing is just that the stock footage, and I just really struggle getting through some of Jess Franco's movies.
Jess Franco's movies are like, I just want to punch him right in the face,
I can only handle so much just lesbians kissing each other and not much happening in a vampire castle before I just turn it off. But yeah, the stock footage just kills that movie for me. It just really is great. I just
well, he's meant to look like Fu Manchu because Fu Manchu is supposedly like 7 foot tall, and Christopher Lee was tall. But I mean, the way the whole thing was shot, it's kind of like, all right, what's going to happen? What happens here? What happens here? That's the opposite end of movies that are meant to be good, but they're just not that good.
They tried. I'll give them that. They tried.
Then you get a movie like The Hellcats, which is a great movie to watch because it's fun. It's a biker movie. It's got our favorite, wannabe guy, Ross Hagen. There was another movie that they did that I think kind of was like it kind of was like I couldn't put it as a good movie. I couldn't put it as a bad movie. I could put it as a movie where it was like, all right, okay, like you've got the Sinister Urge. They say a smut picture racket. It's really pictures of girls in like bras and panties.
Let's call a spade a spade.
And there's the Violent Years, which I think is a fun one to watch.
Yeah, I mean, all of it. Everyone should watch Ed Wood,
because it's supposed to be a morality play,
And like all these filmmakers, he is actually trying to say something important. He just,
But the thing I love about the Sinister Urge is that, it's a good movie. It's a good cop movie. It's a granted, we do kind of look at it and go, it's Ed Wood, but when you think about it, he'd done Plan 9 from Outer Space. Everybody thinks, oh, he was done after that. No, he did a couple more pictures after that.
Yeah.
He was doing these pictures just to get the message, and then then unfortunately he started to get into like smut, the real the thing he was talking about.
Glenn or Glenda, yeah.
No, Glenda, no, he did like the nude vampires or something like that.
Ooh, I need to see those.
Yeah, but there's like
basically. So, but what you're telling me, JJ, is Skinamax owes a bunch to Ed Wood. I'm just kidding.
Ed Wood, Andrew Stevens, and
oh god,
what's her name?
Did I ever tell you a funny story? I met Beverly Gray. She's worked for Stevens and Roger Corman, and she had hysterical stories. But Corman was instantly like, "Oh, Beverly, she's awesome. She'll write you some cool screenplays, Andrew." And he basically, she transfers over there, helps him out. Production manager, line producing, other stuff, and he tells her about how he directed all those cheesy, Night Eyes movies on those channels, and how basically, since he's starring in them, he literally was often directing while wearing only a sock. And it's like, yeah, that sounds like Andrew. And everyone who's worked with him at franchise was pretty much just like, yeah, he basically cock blocked all of our ideas and did his own. Bastard. Andrew Stevens, funny guy.
Andrew Stevens, Stella Stevens, his son, right? Yeah.
Oh, well. So I just learned something. Okay, shit. I thought they were just the same surname.
The crack up for me is watching, watching like something like the Incredible Melting Man, which it's Rick Baker. Rick Baker did the freaking special effects.
It should totally be seen just for that alone.
Yeah.
And
just
the stuff they cut out isn't too bad. It's just kind of one of those where just people are about to attack each other, and they had to cut it for network and runtime.
I laughed my ass off when the old couple's going to get attacked. And she's like, hide in my neck flaps, dear. But it's a fun movie to watch. I remember seeing that. On like cable or something like that.
It's not too freaky, but it is just, you can't look away from just the bizarre melting effects. It's just kind of why you want to watch something like that. Kind of nightmare fuel on a certain day.
Oh yeah. And and there was a couple, I remember there's a couple they did like Avalanche.
Yeah, Avalanche is wild. I can definitely survive that one. There's not much of a plot, but you kind of have fun just with all the actors kind of, I don't want to say they're slugging it because, they got to eat, but it is kind of wild just seeing them all kind of just come together and just being like, well, we're here. Let's go have a ski lodge.
How about watching when you're a kid, The Christmas That Almost Wasn't?
How about Commander Cody? Commander Cody's harmless. I would never hate Commander Cody. I just, I mean, if anything,
Rocky Jones?
Rocky Jones. Yeah. Those episodes are some of my favorite.
Yes.
Yes, he could be a good man like Secretary Drake, or he could be smart like the professor, or he could be like Poopy, or he could be like Vinky. Hi, Bavaro.
Yeah.
We could get beaten up by every girl in the 5th grade, like Winky. That's funny to watch because if you watch the first one, not the one Crash the Moons, the other one.
One of the other
Manhunt in
compilations.
Space.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the one? Wait, what?
I think it is Manhunt in Space.
Manhunt in Space, right? The bad guy in that movie is the guy who played Barnaby in Laurel and Hardy's Babes in Toyland. And also Scar in the one with John Wayne where he's the Searchers.
The Searchers.
Henry Corden was
when you see him and John Agar in all these movies, you're kind of like, wow, they weren't just in everything; they owned everything.
Yeah, but he was one of those like actors. He could play. He was in the Little Rascals one where Alfalfa's going to sing opera, and he's like the evil empresario. I was like, he was like 20. He was like 25 when he did Babes in Toyland, aka Wooden Soldiers. And he's like, yeah. They just said, okay, can you act like an old man? Like, yeah, sure, I'll do that, no problem.
I'll try it. No one was just discriminating against age, especially with acting roles back then. Stupid.
But then I watch it and I'm like, wait a minute, that's Barnaby. Something about that too, with Manhunt in Space and Crash of the Moons is Scotty Beckett was one of the original Little Rascals.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
If you watch the one where when they do the International Silver String Submarine Band, right?
Yeah.
He's the one with the baseball cap and the oversized sweater hanging out with Spanky. Because Tommy Butch Bond is in that too. And yeah. I was like, great. It's just fun. When you watch these movies, you're like,
you can't make this up.
The General Hospital episodes they did. Yes. Roy Finnick is in Codename
Diamond Head.
Yes.
Which
I think McShane.
Was that a pilot?
Yeah, it was like an abandoned TV movie, and they like syndicated it. Like, yeah, but yeah, there's all kinds of ones. And you mentioned Avalanche earlier. They used to be so good at pointing out like people who are, famous has-beens. Like, they would go to town when anytime they encountered all the Anthony Zerves, James Earl Jones, and Palances of the world. And I wish they could have mentioned, hey, that's Robert Forster.
Oh yeah, well, we can't say anything about Robert Forster because the guy was like,
no, but they could have pointed it out. I thought it would have been fun.
Yeah, I would have loved the black hole joke saying, "I'm making this movie, and then I got to shoot a movie with a little robot."
Right? Oh man.
Well, you got to think he did that. He did the black hole, and then he did Alligator, and then he did the one with him and Fred Williamson.
My Vigilante, yes. They just came out with a new Blu-ray remaster with more interviews.
With a great movie to watch. Vigilante.
Yeah. No riffing of that, please.
No. We don't riff that movie.
We don't riff that movie because Fred Williamson will come and kick our ass.
He will kill us, yes.
He will come over and say, you know why they call me a hammer? I'm like, no. Yeah. And he's gonna
Did you hear any of the trivia?
What was that?
Did you hear any of the trivia about how he got actually his belongings stolen from him during the making of it? And he went to him across the street and said, I need this back by the time I return. And they returned all his stuff.
What happened?
His stuff got stolen in the crappy motel all the actors were staying in. And, just like everything, money, all this. And he's like, you will bring this back, or brother, there's going to be trouble. And they brought it back the next night when he got home from that.
Hey, Mr. Williamson, here you go.
There you go, Mr. fucking Williamson. I hear you're a real thing. You fought Captain Kirk. I know you're a thing.
Wait, what?
You don't remember him on the Star Trek episode?
No, what happened?
He was on a Star Trek episode. Classic. Original series.
Which episode was he on?
Okay. You got me. Dun, 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 dun. The Cloud Minders.
He's
Remember
in. Holy shit!
He's one of the henchmen who, yeah, Captain Kirk gives a punch to the face.
Take this, you bastard!
Yeah. Didn't hit me as hard as Spock.
I just keep feeling like Shatner watched the episode goes, yes, I was living out of my truck and he became a black exploitation star. Where's the
Yeah.
Well, at least I got to do the kingdom.
I met Fred the Hammer at a convention.
Did you?
All I can say is, please do not ask me to buy your shit if I'm coming up to say to you, hey, I loved you in this movie. You know, what was it? Hell Up in Harlem. Yeah, that's great. I'll buy some of my stuff. Okay. Rat bastard. You know, walked away, just looked at him and went, oh, son of a bitch. Fucking Jesus Christ. Buy a shit just for the mention of the name. And Gruber should be this Gruber. Please send my copy of Friday Foster, you know. Which I love. I think that's my favorite Pam Grier movie, Friday Foster.
Sure.
Because it's not she's not to get off topic, but she's sexy in it.
Mm-hmm.
And she's got Yaphet Kotto with her. And she's not carrying. She's not like carrying a gun, wearing a slinky dress. I think it's a very smart movie to watch. You know, and I couldn't believe that Yaphet Kotto and Rudy Ray Moore made a movie together. I looked at it. I was trying to find the name for it, and I'm gonna try to look for it later. I'll tell you guys about it. But yeah, some of the movies they did on Mystery Science Theater, they were pretty good. You know, I mean, Time Chasers, you know, that got a lot of attention because Dave Giancona is still directing. Ator, the was it Cave Dwellers? That's a good movie to watch, even though it's got its loopholes, it's got some good stuff.
The villains are total like Indiana Jones types. You just have so much fun. I see so many people, they're like, oh, it's got poor lighting and everything, but I mean, even though yes, even the actor was making fun of it, I mean, there's just something very charming about his persona.
Miles O'Keefe called up and like asked them for a copy.
Yeah.
He's just watching it one day, and I think the story goes, somebody at Best Brains answered the phone and said, he's like, hi, this is Miles O'Keefe. And they're like, yeah, sure, right. They hung up the phone on him. And then like, no, this is really Miles O'Keefe. Can I speak to, I think he wanted to speak to the guy who was the producer. Mm-hmm. And Jim Mallion. He's like, this is Miles O'Keefe. Can I get a movie just to show my wife and my kids?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, sure, no problem. So he said, like Kim Cattrall.
Oh,
love that.
Yeah.
Beverly
Garland and Adam West, and Robert Vaughn, all doing video interviews, having fun.
I'm friends with Frank Dietz, who's the cop in Zombie Nightmare. The young cop. Yeah, I still think Zombie Nightmare is like a really underrated movie. Although John Thor Mickelson is not exactly my idea of a great lead character, but it's a fun movie to watch. We're all in. The great thing about some of these movies is they're so great because we're all in on the joke.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the movies, some movies we're all kind of like looking at it going, yeah, we know it's a good movie. We know it's fun. We can watch it on Rift and still have a good time watching it.
Yeah, going along the same lines, Soul Taker is one that fits into that. It's not highbrow, but it still has some really good thought-provoking commentary. That if you I mean, what it deals with heaven, hell, what happens to your soul, and it gives Robert Zadar a play test.
Yeah, and not only that, Joe Estevez.
Yeah,
Um,
I made sure to give him my condolences when Zadar passed because I knew they were tight, and he told me all
Yeah.
these other stories that had been on other forums before, but he reiterated is like, oh wow, I didn't know you knew about this, and apparently he would because his condition, Zadar's condition, kept getting so bad. Obviously he was always immortalized for films like, again, the Maniac Cop trilogy and Tango and Cash, but his condition worsened so much to where people would treat him like an animal at the zoo, just very awful. And it was just
Yeah,
like, seriously, you're here to get their autograph. Leave them alone if you're gonna be mean.
I always say he's like Rondo Hatton, and I hate to use that comparison, but Robert Starr was like Rondo Hatton. Rondo Hatton had aquilar mention, which is what Andre the Giant had. And you got to realize Rondo Hatton was also in a couple movies other than The Brute Man, which again is a good movie to watch.
Yeah.
Brute Man. And Robert Zadar was one of those guys, like, you knew, like, I hate to say it, but the face was there, and he had that. It's not like acrylometry, it's called cherubism, where his face becomes more and more like distorted as time goes on. And the thing that got me was he was in such pain.
Oh yeah.
It was like really, really bad for him. And I mean, that's what gets me is like, you hear Robert Zadar passes away, you're like, oh shit, it's like
people who never mistreated anyone and who, because of their physicality, were always instantly typecast unfairly.
Yeah.
I could see him being a funny. I mean, he has so many other movies which have had very restricted scenes, but it's so cool how, like many of these B movie actors, how he finds a way to always kind of make an appearance and get recognized at events. But yeah, I'm with you. It had no business happening that way, but it happened.
Yeah. And what got me was you watch a movie like Laser Blast, and the funny thing about that movie is Kim, the guy who played the Billy in the movie.
Ooh.
Kim
Trials.
No, it was Kim. Jesus, I remember the last name. I had it on I was talking about it today with somebody. Anyway, he's in Corvette Summer with Mark Hamill.
Oh yes, there you go.
He played the bad guy who chases Mark Hamill and Annie Potts across the desert. And I was thinking about that because remember in Laser Blast he blows the Star Wars sign away.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we're like, wait a minute. Like a year later they do Corvette Summer, which is one of my favorite like 70s,
just a harmless movie. Again, if they were to spoof that, I'd be like, why? Who wronged you?
They can't. I don't think I could ever make a Corvette Summer because just Annie Potts was hot.
Oh yeah, and she's just a beyond talented comedic actress.
Yeah.
Yes,
I light up whenever I see her, and I'm just like, this person.
Well, she was great. She's great in Young Sheldon as the grandmother.
That's right. She's on that. She has a brief recurring role in the Closer saga. Where she plays someone who's like, I forget what she did. It was very interesting. She was really good at like reading like warning signs or something. Anytime I see her in a movie or a show, I mean, Any Day Now is actually a very underrated show. But there's something about. Go ahead.
What was the one she did with where she replaced Susan Day?
Ooh. Do you remember? Oh yeah, it was like some restaurant sitcom.
Yeah, she replaced Susan Day.
Susan Day. There's someone who was my dad's icon in the 80s. He's like, oh my god, how about Love and War was
Love and War, yeah. I still think the best thing was like between Love and War and Anything But Love with Richard Lewis and Jamie Lee Curtis, and I that itself was a good show to watch too. was the late '80s. Hey, give Richard Lewis a sitcom, he'll do well. Daddy Dearest, which I suggest you guys watch the outtakes with Don Rickles. It's hilarious.
I can only imagine, man.
You had me at Don Rickles.
But yeah, I mean, when you think about the movies we've watched over the years, and like some of them were just like, okay, this is a piece of shit, and then some of them you're like, wow, like the Black Scorpion. That's a great movie to watch.
Another one too. That and the Giant Gila Monster didn't have any issue with. Yeah, sure, character development takes a side swipe, but come on, it's a monster movie. Why would you? Yeah, it's like people want to just make something it's not, and then go even further to where you're like, really? You thought this is what you were getting into? Oh, baby.
Earth versus the Spider is a great movie to watch.
I see many people praising it. Anytime it and really? Okay. I've seen a lot of people praising it. I just because it and Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, just so many people somehow saw it when it aired on TV or at drive-ins, local drive-ins, so they have the backstory.
Yeah, and the one that gets me the most is like I tell people about the Mexican version of Santa Claus.
That's totally what it is.
I've actually seen it on the uncut version, the K. Gordon Murray one. Oh, and all I can say to myself is, there's a lot more in there that they took out that you can understand why they took it out.
It just would have been too much.
It's just too weird.
Yeah.
But at some point during the show, at some point, you watch the movie, you're like, oh, okay, because they explained it. They said that in Mexico, Santa doesn't live in the North Pole. He lives above the North Pole. And he has mechanical reindeer. He doesn't have real reindeer because Mexico's never seen a reindeer. And he has to fight the demon Pitch, which is like so weird because like, what the heck is going on here?
And this is the beauty of MST. Well, once they played the characters in the host segments, they ended up just bringing them back nonstop onto the show.
Yeah, yeah.
If anything, they gave justice for Pitch and Torgo, especially Torgo the White.
Yeah,
of course.
So I definitely want my second banana having to look like that.
They're all here, Gabby Hayes, and yes, we have bananas. We have bananas today.
Hey, today. Yes, sorry.
all I can there's movies. Like I said, there's some movies we watch them again, unriffed. We're like, oh, this wasn't that bad as we thought it was.
There's others is like it's imperfect. It might be better with commentary, but I can watch it in the background as a silly movie to watch with friends at a party.
All I can say is this: the Hercules movies.
Steve Reeves,
Steve Reeves, and I actually got to see Hercules and the Captive Women with Reg Park, and a lot of people don't know this. Reg Park was Arnold Schwarzenegger's idol.
Yeah,
right.
He was the first one, much like we see Mickey Hargitay in that goofy Hercules movie. Is there something about these guys? They made. I mean, it made sense that Arnold wanted to be like them. It's just what they lacked in proper acting, they made up for in just very likable. They could do the stunts and their shit-eating grin. As I've said before, much like Mickey DeLinge, there's just something about their smile. It's just, I want to smile. I want to smile when you smile. Doesn't matter how stupid your movie is. Your movies are just fun. Who doesn't want to be like Hercules?
And let's not overlook the acting dynamo that was Alan Steele.
Oh yeah,
yes,
yeah. Whose real name was, I think, Victorio Di Morocco or something like that.
Something crazy, yeah.
But they had to give him the Alan Steele, like Bill Tungsten or something like that.
Yeah.
RIC drywall.
Yeah.
Which eventually gave room for blast hard cheese.
All right, can we just say something? Can we just say something here about Reb Brown?
Love that man.
he's taken a lot of. He's taken. He's in on the joke with all of us
Beefy
first.
McRib Cage, yeah.
But I just looking at his credits, right? The guy was busy.
He did a lot of those AIP movies with the Pryor brothers. They're them best for doing Deadly Prey.
Yeah,
all those other goofy movies that played at drive-ins and on video.
He did the one with
Howling 2, baby.
Howling 2. He was on Happy Days. He was on the.
Yep.
He's the original Captain America live
John
action.
Milius used him a bunch.
Yep.
He would always. He had a healthy dose of all kinds of movies. You should definitely check out the Cage movies he does with Lou Ferrigno. And then I would totally do if they did a RiffTrax MST3k. That would be another one where it's like, hey, it's imperfect, but it's a fun buddy movie slugfest. It wouldn't be a drag or too. It wouldn't be like some of these David Worth movies where they're blurring the line between acceptable, well-shot B picture and nonsensical. Yeah, I feel like this was made by an alien. Yeah, and everyone's acting in a way. Why does the paper chase guy? Why are we supposed to root for him if he abandons his V'ger, his daughter, in the middle of the desert and then comes back? It doesn't make no sense.
That movie is just terrible. I Warrior of the Lost World was just absolutely horrible.
I can't either. And same thing with a lot of David Worth's movies. He's an okay cinematographer. I mean, he does a good job on stuff like Bloodsport. But then I see other stuff like the Shark Attack movies, and I can understand Shark Attack 3, but I mean, like, his other stuff just drags, just no pace. It's like he's very compromised for a budget.
But what gets me is like, I want to see Puma Man on Rift.
Oh yeah,
oh yeah.
You've been able to locate it because it seems like that's one of the many ones fans have tried to search for, and it's hard to find an uncut version.
From what I understand, the guy who played Puma Man is thoroughly not in the best graces with Best Brains or the MST3k people, because he's a lawyer now or an attorney or something like that. Yeah, and he's like, people have come up, hey, you were in that movie Puma Man. He's like, yeah, I know,
Damn, I
did it. But
he's like that guy in that Road to Revenge movie you might have heard of. So he's just one of those. He had a bizarre profession, then he changed his profession, and because he doesn't want anyone to, it's kind of like HBO Max removing real sex from their streaming service. They don't want it to exist, even though it did at one point. And they bury it. They bury the lead, and it's like, well, you can't kill humor, buddy. People are going to keep making these jokes and laughing at the movie.
It's like, you're just sitting there. He's like, yeah, I did it. Okay, F off, But then you got the girl from who was in that movie. She's been in a bunch of movies from what I remember. I think she was in American Success Company with Jeff Bridges. Anybody remember that movie? Little known movie, American Success Company.
I've seen Tucker, which is, I think Jeff Bridges said he made as a reference to that earlier film with his father. But
the American Success Company is a movie with Ned Beatty, with Jeff Bridges, Ned Beatty, and I'm trying to think who the hell else was in it.
1980. Wow, William Rickard, Peter Capell, Loyal Catlett, Judith Brown. Jesus. Okay, so TV actors. Yeah. It's on TV now. Wow.
Who was the girl in Puma Man?
It's like Sydney something.
I've seen her in other movies.
I see Claudia Botunath.
All
right, that may not be her.
Okay, well,
there's one that I think is called Whoops that is on Tubi. She's in that.
Nice.
Yeah, but I remember like Puma Man. I mean, I know some of, but Donald Pleasance, he this is like, I think this had to be right after Halloween or before.
Probably. I mean, he was doing so many of those movies where he was Bruce Willis before it was a thing. Show up, Telly Savalas would do that too. You show up as either the private eye or the angry police chief or your boss.
Yeah.
And you're just sitting there. Cam Mitchell did it. All these guys.
Cam Mitchell, I think my aunt worked with Cam Mitchell.
Oh, really?
on Silent Screen. So,
ooh, there we go, full moon.
We're watching it one time, and she was over. My aunt was like visiting, and she goes, "Oh, that's Cam Mitchell. I worked with him." I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, I worked with him on Silent Screen." What I found out was, they shot the movie, and Diane McBain from Side Hackers, the girlfriend, was in the movie.
All comes together. It all
They didn't like her. They didn't like her footage. They brought in Cameron Mitchell and Avery Schreiber, of all people.
Oh God!
To play the detective duo, right? And
all because of that. Bailey is not turning out well.
You know, I was like, shit. So Cameron Mitchell, I think the great thing about Cameron Mitchell is when he was in a movie, he could play the tough guy, the sensitive guy,
the granddad,
the granddad. And the one when he did Space Mutiny, which is not a great movie, but his performance.
I've seen it 3 times now. It's actually better uncut, but I actually can't do the RiffTrax live version of it just because I feel like the riff itself was so good. I mean, you just can't mess with perfection. It's just.
But the thing I love the best is when they opened it up, like, yes, we know it's Battlestar Galactica.
That time around, yeah.
But the thing that got me was Reb Brown and Sissy Cameron are married in real life. I think they've been married for
a bunch of years.
He was in a whole bunch of stuff, and I didn't realize she was on the Ted Knight Show.
Yep,
not
Porky's 2 and all kinds of stuff.
No, yeah, she was in the Ted Knight Show, and she was in.
Oh, now you got to speak like Ted Knight. Ho, 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 ho.
Monroe.
I'm taking back my golf course. I know.
I'm no slouch.
It's been fun, man. I love talking about this stuff.
I love talking with you guys in general, dude.
Absolutely.
If there is peace and happiness, it comes in the form of JJ and Tom.
Thank you very much.
Sure, put that on me. No, actually, I have to do stuff.
Drop.
It's all right. We got plenty of months before we got to do our end of the year resolutions.
Oh yeah,
New Year's.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
The best part is you don't have to tell people what they are. They can be completely useless.
I'd like to do my Al Lewis.
You killed it, Frank.
I'd love to do my resolutions like Al Lewis from as Grandpa Mustard. Yeah. Gonna do that. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely gonna do that. Definitely gonna do that.
Do that.
Definitely gonna do that. And Whopper's on in 5 minutes. Yeah, definitely Whopper.
13. Yep. Wait, I gotta just tell the story. There's a story Billy West told one time.
I love that, dude. But
Al Lewis had a restaurant in the Village, which I saw, and I remember I saw him. We were walking along in the Village, and I look over and I see Grandpa's restaurant, Bella Gentile. I'm like, oh, I look outside and I'm looking. I see this guy just standing there, and he's got a car, and I'm like, holy shit, that's Grandpa. That's Grandpa from the Munsters, Al Lewis. I didn't want to say anything to him because I hey, can I have your autograph? Yeah, your autograph. Yeah, piece of shit. Yeah. But it was a mobbed up restaurant from what I can gather from people. The mob opened it up. They're like, all right, you just stand in the corner and yeah. Alan Hare's Lobster Barrel. Yeah. Cesar Romero's Italian Cafe. Yeah. Orange peels. Yeah.
It's good stuff. Yeah. So he sounds like a Jimmy Durante type wise guy.
Throwing orange peels at my ass. Yeah.
And that, folks, is why you should tip your waiter, because they may not get to keep it.
Yeah.
And that is why we're not in the restaurant business, man. We moved next door. We got different stuff.
Cesar Romero played for the other team. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a wise guy. He's in Gotham City, but in New York with the rest of us.
No, that's how Al Lewis talked. He was always like, yeah, Jackie with his corn-pone humor. So this little girl's there, and she sees him sitting at a table, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the mother and the father are there, and she's looking at him. And he's looking at her, and the mother says, "Why don't you go up and ask him for an autograph, sweetie?" And he's like, so she walks up. She's like, "Sir, can I have your autograph?" He's like, "Yeah. You want to know where I live? Yeah. 1313 Mockingbird Lane." And the girl ran off screaming. And he turned to somebody, and the girl ran off screaming. And she was like, he's like, women.
Wow.
And that girl grew
Don't
up to
get
be
too close to your
Jamie Lee
icons.
Curtis.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Paul Harvey.
Yeah.
Good
Tony
guy.
Rude Yvonne DiCarlo.
Jeez. Gangsters, man. Gangsters.
Follow us on the web on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The podcast is available on Podbean, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Apple, and anywhere else podcasts are available. Feel free to review our show and leave comments on any of those sites. Thanks a million for listening.
It's a jacked up